Soy inglés, pero hoy quiero hablar de cuál es realmente mi herencia y de dónde viene mi familia. Esto es mi diario de inglés británico con Shandon, profesor nativo de inglés británico. Un podcast para hispanohablantes que quieren progresar profesionalmente en el Reino Unido. Vale, empecemos. Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the podcast. I hope you're well. Let's speak some English. Today I want to speak about my heritage. What is my heritage? What does that mean? Other words to describe heritage are ancestry or background. So my heritage is where my family come from. So that is my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and so on. Many of my students ask me about my heritage, so I think this episode will be interesting for you. To start with, I want to speak about where I'm from. As I've said many times before on the podcast, I am English. I was born in London and I've lived here my whole life. I'm not from any other nation. I've always lived here. When people ask me, I always say I'm English because this is the only thing that I can be. It's the only place that I'm from. I'm technically also British because my passport is a British passport. There's no such thing as an English passport. We have a British passport. But I personally say that I'm English. As a side note, in England, some people will say that they're English, some people will say that they're British, depending on their preference. I also want to clarify something quickly. Many people think that I'm Hispanic, including my students and many people that I speak to on a day-to-day basis. Or, at least if I'm not Hispanic, they think that I must have Hispanic relatives. But this is a lie. It's not true. I am not Hispanic and nobody is Hispanic in my family. I don't have any Hispanic relatives. As well as this, nobody in my family speaks Spanish apart from me. I'm the only person in my family that speaks Spanish because I've been learning the language for 15 years now. So that's me. How about my parents? So my parents are actually the same. They were both born here in London and have lived here for their whole lives. They're not from any other country because they were both born and raised and have always lived in London. My mum has always lived in roughly the same part of London, in South Central London. So that's my parents. So how about my grandparents then? The story doesn't get interesting yet. Sorry. My grandparents were also all born in England. So all of my grandparents are English. And they're also British, of course. I don't know 100% about my dad's family because I'm not in contact with them. But my mum's parents are definitely English. They were both definitely born in England. So my mum's mum, my grandma, was born in London, and so was my mum's dad, my granddad. He was also born in London. But don't worry, now the story is going to get more interesting because I'm going to speak about my great-grandparents. Specifically, I'm first going to speak about my mum's dad's parents. My mum's dad's parents, so my great-grandparents, were both born in Jamaica. So they were not English. They were both born in Jamaica, an island in the Caribbean. It's one of the most well-known islands in the Caribbean. And it's famous for reggae, particularly Bob Marley, the most famous reggae singer. And it's also known for jerk chicken, which is one of the most popular dishes from the country. But anyway, back to my great-grandparents. They were both born in Jamaica and lived in Jamaica in their childhood. And they came to England in the 1950s. So they came here to London in the 50s. I'm English, my parents are English, and my grandparents are English. But some of my great-grandparents are Jamaican. They're from Jamaica. Now, unfortunately, I don't have much contact with my Jamaican heritage. My great-grandparents are no longer alive. And we don't have contact with our family in Jamaica. But I would love to learn a lot more about my Jamaican heritage and learn a lot more about the country and Jamaican culture. I've only been to Jamaica once before. That was back in 2014, so 12 years ago. I loved it there, but we didn't get to explore that much. We stayed in a hotel and we didn't really explore the island. As I said, we're not in contact with our family there, so we didn't meet up with any of our family while we were in Jamaica. But during the rest of my life, I definitely want to spend much more time in Jamaica. I want to spend more time on the island and learn more about my culture so that I can understand myself better. So those were my mum's dad's parents. How about my mum's parents? They were English. That part of my family has been English for a long time. On my dad's side, as I mentioned before, I'm not in contact with this part of my family. But going back, my heritage on that side of my family is from Jamaica also, and also Barbados. Barbados is another island in the Caribbean. It's a smaller island than Jamaica, but it's also well known, and it's known for its beautiful beaches. I've never been to Barbados. It's somewhere I would like to go to, but not for family reasons. As I said, I'm not in contact with that part of my family, so I don't care about it for family reasons. But I still think it would be an interesting place to visit. I think it's very important to learn about your heritage. I think it's very important so that you can understand yourself better and understand who you are and where you're from. It can also help you to connect to your past and connect more with your family. And yeah, I think just the important part is understanding yourself better. The plan, as I said, for the rest of my life is to better understand my heritage. I understand the English part of my heritage very well, since I've always been here in England. And so that's my day-to-day culture. I understand English culture very well because it's always been and always will be part of me. But I would like to better understand the Jamaican part of my heritage. So I'm going to spend a lot more time in Jamaica during the rest of my life. Thanks for listening to this episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Gracias por escuchar mi diario de Inglés Británico. Si vives en el Reino Unido y sientes que tu inglés te está frenando profesionalmente, te invito a hacer una evaluación de fluidez gratuita conmigo. En esta sesión veo cómo hablas inglés ahora, identifico qué te está bloqueando y te explico qué necesitas trabajar para hablar con más claridad y confianza. No es una clase, es un diagnóstico claro de tu inglés hablado. Reserva tu evaluación ahora a través del link en la descripción del episodio. Gracias y nos vemos pronto. Bye.